Thank you to my newest patron, Daniel Gibbs. I appreciate your generosity, and as always, you can reach me with any questions or concerns via Patreon PM, Minds.com, or Twitter at A Helping Hand for Me. Every dollar helps, every dollar is appreciated, and every pledge of $10 or more will earn you a permanent spot in my video credits. And I know you've heard me read this scripted statement many times now, guys, but I want to remind you all that it is true. I appreciate every donation, I appreciate the vote of confidence in my channel, and my door is always open to anyone wanting to share their thoughts, their criticisms, their creative ventures, or simply to say hi. I'm most active on Twitter, and sometime soon I'll be putting together a Discord, so stay tuned. Hey guys, sorry for the growing period of silence between each video these days. I just haven't had the energy or the patience. In all honesty, I'm a mess, and I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to turn it around. That being said, I appreciate the support from those who have stuck by me, like the guys over at the Ghost Poo podcast. I did a recent live stream with them, and they gave me a much-needed laugh. Check out their channels listed in the description. You won't be disappointed. And of course, a big thank you to those who continue to seek my opinion. Viewers like JJ, who frequently supply me with cancerous videos and articles from outlets like Now This. The people who don't understand that humor is no longer humor once it becomes infested with animus and butthurt. I do enjoy putting their stupidity through the grinder for your viewing pleasure. So, let's get on with it, shall we?
Are you a man who's having trouble understanding all of these new Me Too movement rules? Tricky, right?
Don't you just love how they put this miserable bitch in a white smock and sat her at a desk as if she's someone worth listening to? Now this, who in the hell is actually doing this? Who are these insatiable perverts who are actually going around grabbing asses, grabbing tits, and unzipping their flies mid-conversation with every woman they encounter? And how many of those men aren't aware that it's something generally frowned upon? The vast majority of men would never do this, yet because of people like you, all men are treated as if they would. It seems to me that this video shouldn't be addressed to men. It should be addressed to women, because nobody on this side of the planet holds your gender to the same standard, precious. And what's that little mantra you people like to throw around? Privileged people are blind to their own privilege?
Hi, I'm Dr. Megan Meganson, CEO of Fed Up Pharmaceuticals, the leading research company dedicated to brain medicine for men who just can't take a hint.
Yeah, that's what I thought. No woman who spends all of her time being a feminist bitch is going to spare any part of her day working on attaining an actual degree, let alone a doctorate, let alone pursue a respectable medical profession.
Our research shows that many men suffer from a common deficiency that prevents them from treating women like human beings.
Okay, so you think men are the ones who don't know how to treat women like human beings?
This goes out to all the women in the world, especially her. You know it don't even matter your age, don't even matter your color. Yo, fellas, I ain't forget about y'all. This is for everybody that like to dance. Just listen to what I'm saying and do it and take a chance. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put yours, then I put mine. Then we can dip down low and roll it round. Just get on the floor like I said before. Y'all remember that down low? Just put a little dip with it. Now roll those hips with it. Pop it, push it, rock it, roll it. Can't control it, I come hold it. It's all in fun, so take a chance. Just get on the floor and do that dance, y'all. I know you like it, so don't try to fight it. Turn around, baby, let me see you from the back. Yeah, I like it like that.
A woman in Garden Grove who's been accused of cutting off her husband's penis. KTLA's Wendy Birch is live in Garden Grove.
Cut off his penis with a very sharp 10-inch kitchen knife.
She goes, that'll teach him.
I mean, can you just imagine that thing whizzing around the disposal? It's like hysterical. I would have just thrown it in the dog's bowl.
Why does a dog have to suffer?
Chewing on an old bone.
When he found out his sperm had been swiped by his ex. Inside this facility on Fannin is the scene of the alleged crime. Harton says his ex, quote, bluffed her way into getting the clinic staff to give her 2 vials of his frozen sperm.
So you're basically saying that you're just dating me because I can buy you things?
Yes.
Saying that you're just dating me because...
Yes.
Well, obviously, I don't have $20,000 in cash right now.
So it's not a problem.
You keep wanting more and more. Like, when is the end?
Never. It's never over. It's never over. She's literally telling you to your face, I will suck you dry of every penny you have.
But not anymore. Introducing our proprietary vitamin blend, Decency. Our studies have shown the lowest levels of basic human decency among men in power.
Ah, waka waka!
In fact, most men don't even see it as a problem.
But not all men.
Shut the f*** up, Kyle.
Do you see this misandric, mean-spirited, combative bullshit? This is the attitude you're known for now, this. It's the reason why nobody with half a brain takes you seriously. You are among the most cartoonish representations of the left I have ever seen. You claim that you want to bring people together, yet your every anti-white, anti-male talking point works to drive people farther apart. When you aren't reporting on insipid, pop culture crap that no one outside of the 17 magazine readership cares about, your every attempt to speak for people you don't represent spits in the face of individuals you don't know, simply because they fall into the gamut of your bigotry by one demographic label or another. No one should ever take you seriously, in spite of the tens of thousands who apparently do. But you do serve as a fine example of one critically important fact. As much as virtue-signaling clowns like you love to claim that the Me Too movement is for every victim of sexual harassment and assault, it's perfectly clear that you have no intention of defending male victims. Nor have you ever, except when it's convenient for backpedaling. And we will never see a female perpetrator, certainly not a feminist perpetrator, strung up in the same fashion. We will never see a day when women as a whole are spoken down to in this manner with the approval of society behind it.
Our formula works. Just take it from these good guys.
When I first heard that making sexual comments toward my female coworkers was unwelcome, I was confused. Like, aren't I a man? Aren't they supposed to allow it and like it? But since I discovered decency, I've gotten no new restraining orders.
And this is how we know feminism will never be satisfied. There will never come a day when women aren't perpetual victims in their eyes. They are willfully blind to the standards of society that serve them and only them, standards previous generations of feminism put into place. What brain-damaged man do you think actually believes women are supposed to take and like sexual comments? Do you really think he's blind to all of the sexual harassment seminars that only target men, or the fact that it's almost exclusively men losing their careers over it? Do you think he hasn't seen the pop culture approval for women to slap men and kick them in the nuts for saying anything sexual whatsoever? You think you're speaking to men in power, Megan? But the fact is that none of them are in power. Not relative to the progressive solidarity you wield like a hammer to get your way. Power is the ability to influence societal norms, perspectives, and most importantly, concurrence. That's a power no man holds, not even the cucked allies beneath your own banner. Even a presidential appointee to the Supreme Court, a man with a consistently sterling reputation until this whole shit show, can have his life and his career ruined by the baseless accusations of a nobody from his school days. To the point where it's seen as sexist of him to even plead innocent, and of anyone else to hold out for actual evidence before deciding him guilty. No man is in power, Megan. No man is safe from the feminist juggernaut. Not when the people of your movement are capable of forcing society to agree that coercion is legally synonymous with rape when done by a man, but empowerment when done by a woman.
Hey, I got a mother as a woman, and a sister, also a woman, and 2 daughters will probably be women too. So, yeah, I think I know a little something about feminism. Anyway, I like the gummies.
Yeah, I know you're playing the role of the ignorant mansplainer here, but in so doing, you are insulting and betraying your entire gender. You are a man, biologically if not by virtue or general principle. You have a father who is a man, a grandfather who was a man, you likely have brothers who are men, you probably have uncles who are men, and almost certainly have friends who are men, if you haven't already burned those bridges with your feminist bullshit. And you betray all of these men when you allow yourself to be stepped on so you can virtue signal to feminists who don't give a fuck about you. But yes, please continue to scarf down those blue pills keeping you firmly under the feminist thumb. By all means, tighten down the screws on their brainwashing.
Aw, thanks for splaining, man. Yes, our chewables are a delicious option for those who find this hard to swallow. Decency has been proven effective for almost everyone. Almost.
Yeah, everyone except for the feminists and the women who gleefully indulge in the man-hating victim status culture they supply. Despite your cringeworthy decency joke, you don't even know the meaning of the word decency, you human facelift. Decency is the abhorrence of double standards. Decency is condemning the offense, and occasionally the offender, but never the offender's entire fucking gender. Decency is to resolve disagreement in parley, actually care about social equality, and promote peace and a general sense of belonging. You, on the other hand, condemn all men by gender association for the sins of a few, sins for which you would never judge a woman. You treat isolated incidents of sexual violence as grounds to profile, lecture, disrespect, and abuse all men whether they're guilty or not. You do not listen to reason, you avoid productive discussion, you ignore reality, and you drive a proverbial fence of gender and racial opposition through every fucking social issue every time. Feminism is about the furthest possible thing from decency. Feminism is hatred, and as such, all it does is produce more hatred.
Whatever happened at a time where men were men and women were quiet? And you can also crank it in front of anybody you wanted to.
Another shot at Harvey Weinstein. What a surprise. They even went out of their way to find a cuck with the same beard and male pattern baldness. You know what? I'm not going to defend Weinstein's character. I knew nothing about him prior to his part in this colossal fucking witch hunt, and frankly, I could take him or leave him. But if you want to sit here and talk about hard pills to swallow, then here's one for you. I do not believe for a second that Harvey Weinstein raped anyone, scumbag or not. Near as I can tell, the bulk of the allegations against him involve, quote, sexual misconduct. Any woman he coerced was just that, coerced. They had the choice to walk away and rightfully burn that bridge, and your attempt to relieve them of personal responsibility based on his financial status does not change that fact. But they didn't burn that bridge, did they? No, they wanted the money. They wanted the fame. They wanted it enough to let him blow a load in their laps if need be. Get this through your fucking heads now, this. Above all else, Harvey Weinstein is a businessman. He needed skilled actors and actresses to sell his films if he was going to maintain his bottom line. And if those women confident in their acting talent actually proved themselves guaranteed assets to his success in that capacity from the first audition, he wouldn't have been foolish enough to sour the relationship by pulling his dick out in front of them, and they wouldn't have been weak enough to stick around for it. But sexually attractive women are a dime a dozen, and he's undoubtedly turned away several actresses who were more talented and suitable because he preferred the short-term investment of sex appeal compared to the long-term investment of cultivating a genuinely worthwhile talent. And I promise you, as unethical as the way he behaved might have been, no man on his payroll was ever given the chance to fuck his way up the A-list ladder. Just because you didn't have the personal integrity to hold yourself to a higher professional standard, just because you sunk to his standard in order to get ahead, does not make you a fucking victim. Get over yourself.
We hear ya, and we see ya, Harry. If you're in that small cesspool of men who just can't keep your hands to yourself or your dick in your pants, we've got you covered. You need maximum strength prison.
Right, because men haven't been going to prison for decades on the sentiment of listen and believe alone. Tell me, sweetheart, where is that big black bottle of prison for the women who demonstrably lie under oath in an attempt to destroy an innocent man's life? Where is it for the women in power who sleep with the underage boys in their care? I'm sure we can expect you to prescribe a much lower dose for them, if any at all. You'd be more likely to prescribe them a tube of vagina lax to ease their guilt and shield them from consequences.
Prison binds to your inexcusable action receptors. And you go to prison. It's right there in the name.
What now? Okay. Ow.
Take for 3 to 5 years, or really, as long as it takes. You won't be missed.
Men, by and large, do not do 3 to 5 for sexual assault, Megan. But of course, being a woman, you wouldn't know that since you live under a lower sentencing standard. You smug, unfunny, cringeworthy cunt.
Side effects may include lack of freedom, loss of job, loss of the right to vote, lack of fresh air and sunlight, regimented shower time, your wife finally finding out, legal fees, divorce, explaining to your kids where daddy lives now, starchy meals, cramping, dry mouth, remorse, regrets, and wishing you had been a respectful human being in the first place.
Decency. For men who are trash.
And I expect we'll never see the formula for garbage women, let alone with any justifiable side effects. No, abrasive twats like you are given free license to touch whoever you want for whatever reason you want, and your victims have no recourse. Since you have a vagina, you can be as toxic and combative as you want, and you'll never be subject to the healthy, attitude-correcting punch in the mouth reserved exclusively for men. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you saw here, have a look at my other videos and leave me your thoughts in the comments. If you support my message, then please like, favorite, and subscribe. If you'd like to help this channel improve, you can reach out to me on Twitter or on Facebook with any suggestions. And if you'd like to support me more directly, please consider following me on Patreon. Links in the description. Thanks again, and I'll catch you all in my next video.